Council President, we're live.
Very well, Paterson, welcome. I want to start by apologizing. We had a very extensive finance meeting, which was very important, that needed to be had. And so I want to apologize for starting our workshop, which should have started at 6:30. It's now 7:03. So my apologies for that. Good evening, everyone. To my council colleagues that I have not seen throughout the week or spoken to, hello, hope all is well. Madam Clerk, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council Workshop Session of February 15, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Present.
Thank you. Councilwoman Khan.
Here.
Councilman Jackson. Somewhere there. Councilman Khalid. Councilman Mendez. Councilman Mims.
Present, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Rivera.
I'm here. I'm waiting for Ryan to resolve a little issue. Also, Councilman Mendes is in the other office. He's waiting for Ryan also.
Okay. All right. So Councilman Rivera. Councilman Velez.
Welcome, everyone. Yes.
Madam President.
Before I vote, Madam Clerk, please make me the host of the meeting. My vote is not vote. I'm present.
Okay, you were there, right?
Yeah, I'm the host.
We did. We put you through. You're still host?
No, I'm not the host. I need to be the host.
Okay, you're not. No, she's not. No, something went wrong. Hold on. She's not. I just looked at it. No, something went wrong. Okay. Let me have someone fix it right. Council President, if you want me just do the statement of compliance in the meantime?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Let's click on her. Right, click on her name. Okay, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2021 to 2022. Meeting date February 15, 2022, time 6:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2021 to 2022 on or about July 1, 2021. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2021, to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Kiscator International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was prominently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this type. 4. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5. A copy of the schedule of regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President, I'm just going to read the number for the public portion in the meantime. Anyone who wishes to participate in the public portion tonight of our workshop session may dial 973-321-1579, 973-321-1579. The ID code is number 8326. Press star 1 to listen to the meeting, and press star 3 to be added onto the speaker list. Madam President.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Councilman Vice President Khalid has been waiting in the waiting room.
Okay.
And I'm still not the host of the meeting. And I really do not want to proceed with this meeting if I'm not the host.
Okay, we're trying to get the, Ryan, he's the only one, and unfortunately, he's running into every room, so I have Jackie to go and get him.
So there is a way, if you're looking at it, that you can look at the three dots
I tried, we tried.
and you do a right click.
He did, we did, go ahead, he's here. I don't know what happened. It's a replace pin, right? It asks for a pin. And Councilman Kalik is in the,
Wait a
room.
minute.
I don't know why it's asking for a pin.
There are 10 people
I did
looking.
it. I did it for you.
You're the House Council President, you're there now, but Councilman Kalik, he's in the waiting room. I put Councilman Kalik present, I didn't hear from Councilman Jackson, I know Councilman Mendez is here, correct, Councilman Mendez? He's here. Okay, Council President, you're the host, you may begin.
Yeah, he's not logged on yet, Madam Clerk, Councilman Mendez.
Okay,
Oh,
Council President, when you're ready, you're the host.
All right, Councilman Kalik, if you could do me a favor and, go to your settings and change the name. Okay? Okay, very well. So once again, council members, we have a few discussions today, and we're gonna start off, actually, no. Payment of bills.
Right. Yes,
My apologies.
that's okay.
Is Councilman, Flavio is on, okay.
Come on, just give me a minute, I'm trying to,
Good afternoon. I'm on the president for the given Council Cali.
Okay,
Welcome,
Councilman Mendez
welcome.
is on. Thanks, Councilman.
So payment of bills for February 15, 2022. We have bills totaling $4,146,283.36. There was no payroll for this meeting, and that's it. There was no payment to the county or the school district.
For your recommendation?
I just moved it.
Okay,
So, that's it.
Madam Clerk, moved by Councilman Rivera, second by who?
Councilman,
yeah,
Second
but
by Councilman Kalik, 1 second. Second by Councilman Kalik, discussion by Councilwoman Khan.
thank you, Council President. Can you hear me? Yes. I just want, Javier to send me the list of the road servicing contract that Smithsonian Asphalt did for $362,000. And if he could send me the list of the streets that he paid for that kind of money. You see it? Yeah, I think, yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Khan. Anyone else? Roll call, Madam Clerk, on payment of bills.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for payment of bills in amount of $4,246,283.36. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Before I go, Madam Clerk, Council President, many residents are texting me, they're appreciating the virtual meeting because they are able to participate today from their homes. So I just want to relay that to you. So my vote is yes. Thank you.
Councilwoman Khan?
I gotta laugh with Al. Go ahead, Al. I don't know what we gonna do with you, I tell you. But Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And relative to the selection for doing remote meetings, Council President, I have several constituents from my area and various areas throughout the city that are not totally happy with the fact that we're virtual. They'd rather be in the chambers where they can see council members not paying attention to some of the residents' concerns. And that I quote from some of the residents in my area. Madam Clerk, my vote is no.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik?
No comments, my vote is yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Rivera? You're still muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear.
My vote is no.
Councilman Velez?
Reading one of the texts on my constitution says that we have a quorum inside the building of City Hall. I don't know why we have visual, but that's okay. That's okay. My vote is no.
Madam President?
I don't know, we do not have quorum in City Hall, Councilman Velez.
We have Mendez, you, me, Flavio, and Wu Kai.
Oh, you know what it is? I didn't realize that, Councilman Mendez, okay.
Yeah.
So,
We're not saying-
before I vote, you know, Councilman Abdulaziz, you're right, you have your constituents that call you, okay? Councilman Jackson, I have both, where some like it, some don't. But for everyone, March 1st, it'll be all full, there's no more virtual after March 1st. Starting March 1st, workshops and, regulars will be in the chambers. My vote is yes.
Thank you. 46 in favor, 3 against, payment of bills is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much. So, council members, you all have the agenda. We have, let's see, we have various discussions. I will let the people in as we have the discussion. I don't want to bring in others that are for the different discussions. So the first discussion we're gonna have is, I believe it's item 16.
I have the same list that you have. 16?
Okay, which is that one? Hold on, I thought we were doing.
That's the one which,
I thought we were doing Director Powell first because there's some lawyers.
we have the one with the Bunker Hills. So which one do you want to do first?
Yeah, no. We're not doing Bunker Hill first. We're going to do 26, 27.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna allow.
So let me have
So
Ryan,
I'm gonna start letting the people in for that discussion. Okay?
26 and 27. You have the list in front of you, right, Council President?
Yes.
Okay. So you have Director Powell, he's there. John Cantaloupe.
Yes, I just let him in. So I left John, Tony, Senator Poe. There's one more.
There's a Chris Langhart.
Yes, I don't see him. Do you?
I'm, okay. No, that's Mr. Cantaloupe.
Yeah, I don't see Chris Langhart.
No, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen that
Yeah, so Director Powell, I don't know if
first.
I think he was in the waiting room.
No, I'm in the waiting room, so I don't see.
I'm texting him as we speak.
Hey, Mike,
I see Senator Poe, I see Tony Perez.
I know, Madam President, I know that he was waiting as we were all waiting for, so we were told there was some kind of technical difficulty, but I know he's waiting, Madam President.
The thing is that there's a few lawyers here and I don't know, I mean, I see one that is not for this discussion.
Let me, I'm gonna call him, Madam President, if that's okay.
I just texted him.
Okay.
I see someone with the last 747, is there 3 digits phone number?
I believe he was on the video feed, so I'm texting him as we speak, Madam President, and I will report back as soon as he just read it, so I'll be there in a second. Give me 1 minute. He said he's in the waiting room.
Yeah, he's been in the waiting room.
I know, but what's it, is it by a number? It says Vladimir's Note 20, CBL. How do I know if it doesn't have their name? I
Doesn't it have
see here,
Chris Langhart?
there is a Esquire Richardson. That's not for this discussion.
No, that's for,
He's coming and his name is there, Council President. Ryan's gonna let him in. C. Langhart. Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah, it's just C. Langhart. There he is.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't, he's on a phone. Like,
Oh, I gotcha.
Senator Paul,
all right. So we have everyone here. We have Director Powell, Senator Poe, Mr. Langhart, and Cantaloupe. Is my saying?
Yeah, tell him.
Juan Cantaloupe.
Yes. All right, so we're ready. So, Madam VA, Director Powell?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll just start us out by noting that everybody that Council President just noted is on the call for the meeting tonight with regards to the parking authority items that are before the council tonight. The outside counsel for the council for the parking authority is Chris Langhart, and so I'm going to ask him to kick off the presentation with regards to what these ordinances are, what they entail, so that we can have a discussion with regards to what's before the council this evening. Chris, are you okay to take the mic from this point?
I don't see him, Michael. I'm sorry, Madam President, that I'm jumping in, but I don't see him any longer on there.
He said he's not on. I guess something's happening. He's texting me as we speak.
I don't see him either, Mike. He was
Yeah.
on and all of a sudden he dropped off.
Jesus.
I'm
I love
calling.
technology. Isn't technology amazing?
Very.
I'm texting him as we speak, so my hope is that ultimately this will be a matter of minutes. And so I apologize in advance for.
What's going on? We're trying to get you to speak. Michael just, Okay. Madam President, what he's telling me is that he was unable to, for some reason, he's not being allowed in through the virtual, so he called in, but now he's no longer able. Oh, wait, now he's on, Madam President. There he is.
Yep, I'm gonna hang up here.
Hey, look at this. It's all coming together like a well-oiled machine.
Langhart, Mr. Langhart.
I'm sorry about that. I tried to call in and I guess you couldn't hear me and now it came up on the computer finally.
Thanks, Chris. So I was just introducing the folks that are here on behalf of the Parking Authority, as well as our own bond counsel for the city, Mr. Canalupo. And so I figured what you could do is just kind of kick us off in terms of the general presentation with regards to the two ordinances that are before the council, and then we will entertain any questions, comments, or what have you.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And I want to thank the city council, the council president, the mayor, and everyone in the city who's helped us with this project to date. We very much appreciate it. Before you have two guarantee ordinances. One is for $32 million, one is for $16 million. The first one for $32 million is a guarantee of bonds to be issued by the Parking Authority of the City of Paterson for the construction of a new Ward Street garage. You may have talked about it already, but the current Ward Street garage is being demolished and the Parking Authority intends to build a new one. This guarantee will guarantee the payment of principal and interest on the bonds to be issued by the Parking Authority for the construction of that garage. Just a quick note, the city did adopt a guarantee ordinance for this same amount for the Ward Street garage last year. That deal at the time was envisioned to go through the Passaic County Improvement Authority, and that's how it was set up. Right now, the Parking Authority intends to issue the bonds on its own. We may go through the Passaic County Improvement Authority at some point, but the new guarantee ordinance allows us to do either, so that's why we're re-adopting that one. The $16 million guarantee ordinance is for a takeout of all the existing Parking Authority debt. What the authority needs to do because of its existing bond resolution is get rid of all of its existing debt, refinance it like you might refinance your mortgage, hopefully at a cheaper rate. But regardless, get rid of it and issue it again under the new bond resolution, the same one that we would use to issue the bonds for the Ward Street garage. And the reason we need to do that is because the Parking Authority in the past has issued three series of bonds, all insured by, at the time, FSA Insurance, now they're Assured Guarantee. And as part of a condition of the insurer giving their commitment to insure the bonds, they made the Parking Authority, among other things, agree that all further bonds, like for the Ward Street garage, wouldn't be issued unless FSA consented. And FSA also put a diversion on the general fund monies of the Parking Authority such that they can't be used for authority purposes right now, but have to be used to redeem Parking Authority bonds that are insured by FSA on the market. So in a nutshell, the existing bond resolution doesn't allow the authority to do what it wants with its own money. By refunding all the existing debt, which is the $16 million guarantee ordinance we're talking about, the authority can get out from under that existing bond resolution and issue the bonds for the new Ward Street garage and refinance its debt. This project, I know has been talked about for quite some time. It went before the local finance board last week and received positive findings for the entire project. One of the little procedural glitches though was that because we only had the city guarantee for 32 million, because that's all we had ever discussed at that point, they could not give us a positive findings for a guarantee in the amount of 48 million, which is why we're coming before you again for the 32 million for the Ward Street and the $16 million for the refunding. So that's a brief synopsis of everything. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about the guarantee ordinances. I will also mention, I think John Cantalupo might be on. We did send them to John. John was good enough to review them, and they have been reviewed by your bond counsel.
Yes, Chris, I have reviewed them, and they're all in line with what we do traditionally for a guarantee with the city.
Perfect.
Discussion.
Well, we haven't moved it or seconded, but if you'd like to speak, Councilman Mendez?
Thank you. I just gotta, I know it's gonna be more question, but I would like to just start asking about how this is going to affect our bond rate. I know we're speaking about $32 million and plus 1648. So that's the first question that I have.
I'm happy to answer. John, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, this will not affect your bond rating or rate because it does not currently go towards debt that you're actively paying because the bonds are secured by the parking authority's revenues. The only time it would have an effect is if there was some kind of a dip in revenues that the parking authority couldn't pay for its own bonds, and then that could jeopardize the rating or the rate that the city would receive in the future. But right now, and I can certainly ask Senator Poe to chime in on this, or Mr. Perez, they've made all of their payments on all of their outstanding bonds to date, correct?
That's absolutely correct, Mr. Cantalupo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all council members. Madam President, through you to Councilman Mendez. As Mr. Cantalupo just indicated clearly, the Paterson Parking Authority has in fact been able to maintain all of its debt obligations and make payment to all of its bonds. We have never defaulted on any of them. This, as Mr. Cantalupo has just indicated, would only be, as a matter of record, it would be a paper number, right? But it doesn't really show any kind of effect, or it will not have any it doesn't have any effect on any of your particular city operating funds for future projects that you may have. It doesn't go on your ledger to that level. This goes on your gross, but not on your net.
All right. So for better clarity, the only way that this will affect our bond rating or the city will be on the situation that the parking authority couldn't pay this $48 million, then the city will be responsible for that, since we are the umbrella that will be covering this $48 million bond. I'm correct?
Council President, that would be correct. I would only point out that even during some of our worst possible time during the pandemic, when things were really different and businesses and everything had closed down, we were still being able to maintain and make all of our payment at the very worst possible time. One of the largest, most difficult time in the state of New Jersey and throughout the country, we were still able to do that. So while you are correct, it's a matter of making sure, and we have preserved and made sure of that financial stability, that we will be able to pay our bonds as we normally, especially when we get rid of the existing bond, which is the $16 million, which we're paying close to 7%. It's as what Mr. Lanhart said. If you're able to refinance your mortgage, you generally do that at a lower interest rate. We're looking to do this at a lower interest rate that will allow us to reduce our debt and make those payments even better.
Understood. Thank you, Madam President, for the time, and Madam and Senator Paul, thank you for the explanation. I'm very well informed about the refinance. That's what I do for a living. But just for the public, I just want to make sure that the community, the public understand that this is not the $48 million debt. It's not a debt that we're getting into. It's a parking. We only, we are the umbrella that will guarantee that, and only in case of the parking authority will not be able to pay, and then the city will be responsible. But just so I thank you for your explanation. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Councilman Mendez. It will be Councilman Abdulaziz, Councilman Velez.
Hey guys, good evening, Senator. How are you?
Hello, Councilman Abdelaziz.
So I just want just clarification and just some reassurance. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, or Christopher. We are going to be the ones backing up this bond, right? God forbid these projects fail and you and the Park Authority can't pay it. We are held responsible, but I also want to make the record reflect, if that were the case, if residents think like we're picking up somebody else's debt, we could also go after all the assets, right? Worst case scenario. So to the residents, I know when you hear that, oh, this project goes and we're on the hook for all this money. We also, if that were the case, we could take all the assets of the parking authority, all the land, parking garages, the revenue, whatever it may be, correct?
That's correct, Councilman. Let me just also point out that the $32 million is really, let's not forget the fact that you have tax credits that are going to be towards that also. And those tax credits will go in front of that $32 million, therefore reducing the actual $32 million by, I believe it's close to 16 million or so. So it's actually that 32 million becomes half of that. The actual refinancing is a matter of refinancing it for the full amount so that we can have a better repayment or refinance cost, lowering that payment.
And I understand that, Senator. Just to wrap up, Council President, I just want the residents to understand that the parking authority is not an agency that doesn't have assets. Not saying they're filthy rich, but they do have some of the prime properties all across the city. They have assets that if they were to not make their payments or where the city's on the hook, we have the power to go after their assets that will protect the interests of the city and the taxpayers.
Councilman, I'll just say one thing, just to make sure it's clear. I don't want to give anyone a false impression, but the parking authority is created by the city. So the city, and the parking authority has always paid its debts, as we said, and Vision will be able to do it here, but they're always subject to dissolution by the city, because we're a creature of the city. And if that were to happen, then yes, all the assets after a certain process would transfer back to the city.
And
No, thank you.
And Mr. Lampard, just so you know, we are fully aware of that.
Councilman Rivera reminds us every meeting.
Very often. Okay, so very well. Councilman Abdulaziz, you can put your hand down now. Your hand. Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Council President. Once again, the integrity and fiscal and financial responsibility of the parking authority through the leadership of Director Tony Perez and his board will speak by itself. But I want to clear the record here. As you notice, the screen of Madam Nellie Poe says Nellie Poe. I want to make sure that the record reflects that she's not representing the Senate of the state of New Jersey, that she represents the parking authority. Because viewers could miscommunicate. We honor her title, and Councilman Abdulaziz, I know you're shaking your head. We honor her title and we respect her title, but she's here representing the parking authority just to have the public understand why her role is here today. So, I just want to say that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Velez, for that clarification. I think that everyone on this council, as well as everyone on board, truly understands and knows the capacity of Senator Paul. But you are a senator, and I will respect that, and that's why I addressed you that way. And I believe Councilwoman Mims and everyone else here. So with that said,
And I just want to say something, Council President, Jerry Spezial, the director. You know what? Senator Poe and Tony Perez are just an outstanding asset to this city. They do such a tremendous job, and they really are the real deal. So I just wanted to comment on that. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Director. Councilman Rivera?
I haven't finished.
No. Yes, you did. And you said that what was your, you did finish.
No, actually, I finished that statement, but I haven't finished. Council President, and I don't know if I didn't make myself clear. And once again, I say in my statement, we respect the title of Senator Nellie Poe. But referring to the public that don't know what we're dealing here, that didn't log in today, we want to make sure that the record is clear that she's here lobbying and for the public, they have the public authority. We respect her title, Madam, I was going to call her maybe Madam BA, Madam Nellie Poe. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, and not go by the miscommunication of some councilmen here trying to say that I don't respect your title. That's it.
Councilman Velez, I started by saying that we understood what you said, and thank you for the clarification. Please, let's not have a rebuttal today, please, on everything that is said here. So with that, Councilman Rivera, our finance chair. You can unmute yourself.
Fine, I'm trying. Thank you, Madam President. And I just want to reiterate that this council, we for the past 4 years, we're doing things a little differently. And we understand, sometimes we put politics aside and we do the right thing, right? We all understand why this agency was created, and it was to meet the need of the parking need of the city of Paterson. And I've always said since the beginning that we should work with agencies like the Parking Authority, Housing, School District, to make the city better. And what we're doing right here, we're just helping an agency that's part of the city. That's what we're doing right here. And I don't have to elaborate anymore. It was discussed in finance.
Yes.
And I'm all for it. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, very well.
Regular. Put in regular.
Councilman Jackson? And then Councilwoman Cotton.
So first, Council President, just for a point of clarity, I noticed before Councilman Mendez called for discussion, you said there was no second or motion a second at that time. Are we in a special session right now? We're going to vote on this?
No, we're not. That's why I said we were open. This is why it's brought here. This is a discussion for everyone.
It's a workshop.
Right.
We're voting on this next week.
Right. If we move forward, we're going to.
Understood. But you only, I just wanted to clear that up. So, there's no specific data relating to the actual project. We're voting, looking to vote to approve funding, securing funding and bonding for funding. Is there a data sheet that shows the number of parking spaces that's projected to be created versus what was already there, and what the project outline is projected to look like in its completion?
That's Council.
No. I'd like to know who's going to address this question.
Okay.
Because it's my understanding that this project is something that was already approved.
Right.
Credit was given, all right? And so the piece of, that you're coming before, the 32, you guys went out already. You already went to the local finance board, am I correct? You're coming back because now you've want us to, I guess, secure, right? debt of 16 million, is that correct?
Madam President, if I may, just to respond to his question, you're absolutely correct. Councilman Jackson, this is a city guarantee. That's what it is. It's not actually asking for any funds. It's simply guaranteeing the existing, the bonds that you have. Two documents that is before you or will have been submitted to the city council for consideration. Those are the two bond ordinances. A draft of those were at the discussion, reviewed by the finance committee, now brought before all of you as a board to consider for consideration. We're not asking for any money. We're simply saying that we're asking for the city guarantee. So it's not a cost, any additional cost. The bond that is in front of you will do one of two things. The first one, the $32 million, will be the replacement of the existing garage that currently provides for close to 800 or so parking spaces. We're looking, that one is currently, and that particular new construction will be the replacement of those existing, of those parking spaces. That's what the first $32 million is for the guarantee, which is subject to, eligible for the tax credits that was awarded through the efforts of our legislative team to make sure that we were able to get tax credits for the city of Paterson. So that's the $32 million. The $16 million is the other bond ordinance that you have in front of you. That $16 million is for the refinancing of our existing debt. That debt is for making sure that we go back out into the market, refinance it at a lower rate so that we can be able to provide greater savings in our overall payment system. And that's why I use the analogy that was earlier mentioned with regards to when you refinance your home as a mortgage, you go for a lower interest rate. We're currently paying anywhere from 7 to 8% on the current interest rate. It's a very large interest rate. We want to refinance it so that we can reduce our debt. Overall, it allows us and gives us the freedom also to go out. We cannot go out for any bond unless we first satisfy that $16 million. And that's what Mr. Lanhart spoke about earlier with regards to the FSA. I hope that Mr. Councilman Jackson, I hope that helps to answer your question. Thank you, Madam President.
Well, first, Madam Paul, let me say this. I enjoy watching you tonight put on a clinic because I've referenced you many times over the last few weeks on always being thorough and efficient when you were here with us in your role as BA. And I do understand that. I understand that the impact or the necessity to PG even if you're doing a personal project with a personal guarantee. So I understand the city's guaranteeing it. Well, what I was referring to with reference to the project, the last time we approved this, it was a collaborative effort, or it was supposed to have been a conjoint effort with an outside investor who was also coming to the table, which was projected to be a housing / and or commercial / parking / there was many different projections. What I was talking about is now we are with the city now coming back in as a guarantor, as opposed to having that investment arm. What exactly does the project look like? I mean, are there new renderings? Has it been new positioning, or is the projection now to scale it to only parking? How many parking spaces are we looking to improve to versus what we just the 800 plus that you just referenced that we're replacing, and what exactly are we getting? I mean, obviously we understand that we're not putting up the money, but we are putting up the guarantee. So we would like to know what are we getting in return for our participation
Sure.
to assist in this project move forward.
Sure. So through you, Madam President, first of all, thank you, Councilman Jackson, for that question. First of all, we're replacing the exact same number of parking spaces that we currently have. So it would be a replacement of the entire same number of spaces. With regards to the previous project that you referred to, though that's a separate and apart issue. What you're talking about, there are two different parcels in that particular land that you're referring to. The one parcel that we're talking about is strictly that of the building where the actual parking facility is going to be. And that's the parcel that calls for the city guarantee for with respect to the reconstruction of this existing garage at the same level of parking spaces that it currently has, sir.
So,
Very good.
and I'd like to just say this, I know it's gonna be Councilwoman Cotton, then it's gonna be Councilwoman Mims, and then it's gonna be Councilman Rivera, but let us, because I know you keep referencing the 32, that's already been approved.
Yes.
So right now, what's in conversation that we had in finance was the additional 16 million, which would be the 48. You already went to the local finance, so let us right now concentrate on that. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Mims, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Cotton, Councilwoman Mims, then Councilman Rivera.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say welcome everyone to our meeting. My first question is, even though I know that we had already guaranteed, we did a resolution for the 32 million, and you went before the local finance board, and I just want to make it clear that the local finance board wanted you to clean up the 16 million and try to go for a lower interest rate. Is that's my understanding of what they wanted you to do, because you were saying the interest rate that you have there now is like 7%. So once you can refinance what you have, we can go lower than the really you can now. You can go lower than the 7% that you're paying now. That's my understanding, that they said okay for the 32 million, but they think that they know that you can save even more money by refinancing your 16 million to help you even have the debt to be a little lower than what it actually is now. So that's my understanding, Senator Poe, Tony Perez. That's my understanding what the local finance board wants you to do.
Senator? Yeah, I can address that. So when we went before the local finance board, you're correct, we had the refunding piece that you're talking about, and our numbers taken about a month ago shows that there will be savings. Again, going back to the analogy of refinancing your mortgage, we take the existing debt, replace it with cheaper debt. The market is volatile, so, when we actually go out and sell the bonds, that's gonna be the day when we figure out if there's savings or not. So that can change, just like anything else. But the reason we're doing the refunding is not so much to get savings, that's an added bonus. It's really to get rid of these bond insurer covenants we were talking about that prevent the authority from doing what it needs to do. And as a procedural matter, the LFB said, yes, we can give you a guarantee for 32 million because we have that on the books from the ordinance we did last year. But we want to do the whole deal for 48 million. So the local finance board asked us to come back with the introduced guarantee ordinances for 48 million, submit them to them, and then they'll give us positive findings for the entire deal.
She's only coming.
Okay,
Are you done, Councilwoman Cotton?
yes, I'm good. I can understand that. I just want to make sure that the public out there understood. Even own the house and you can refinance, which gets you a low rate, which helps the rating altogether. So, thank you for that, Christopher.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Cotton. Councilwoman Mims?
Thank you, Council President. Welcome, Senator Poe, Director Perez, and to the legal team. So first of all, I have to agree, Council President, we have to even acknowledge you as Senator Poe, because if it were not for you and the amazing people from the state, we would not even have tax credit dollars. So kudos to you for that great work That's how this got approved because of the ERG tax credit dollars. So I have to put that on the record, give me a little pat on the back for that. So I just have a couple questions. So when we approved this, it was my understanding back then that we were gonna go to the county for the PCIA, the State County Improvement Authority. So what changed from that conversation, or did we say it would be better to work in collaboration with the city, which is not a bad idea? I just wanna know if something changed. That's my first question. The second part of the question is, with the 16 million refinance, are we going from a 30-year to a 15? And what type of loan is it? Is it adjustable arm? Like Chris already said, it's a volatile time right now. So I just wanna understand what type of refinance loan are we looking at and what are those rates? If it's an adjustable rate, how does that look long-term? Are we still able to go to the county and get the rate that they have, which is a 2.1 because their bond rating is different? How does this impact it that we're working with the city and is the county still involved? So it's probably about 3 or 4 questions all wrapped up in one.
You want me to address it, Senator?
I'm happy to, but I don't wanna answer it all the time, but I'm happy to do it. Go ahead, Chris, you wanna do that, please?
Sure. It's hard for me to speak about the county. I know they have a number of ongoing projects, and I think this kind of wraps up with some other projects that are ongoing. But as of this date, we haven't been able to bring the county on board. We did talk about it last year, but I think, I don't want to speak for them, but we're just not there yet. We still have ongoing discussions with the county. Going to your refunding question, the rate, it will be a fixed rate, it won't be adjustable, so whatever we get in the market will be for the life of the bonds. We won't go out, there's 3 series of underlying bonds that'll be refunded. Each of those underlying series won't go out any longer than they are currently. So if one series of underlying bonds goes out 5 more years, these mirror bonds will go out the same amount of time. So they won't go out any longer than they already are. It will be a fixed rate, and the kind of rate we're going to get, I mean, I just don't know, because the market changes. So I don't want to say something now and then it will turn out to be something different later, because everybody points to that. But we have professionals on board who are monitoring the market so that we can get the best rate we can when we do go out to the market.
Okay.
And then my last question is this. So the fixed rate, we don't know, but I know one of the things I have to say with coming to the council and trying to do it with the city, because of the 2-year window that we have, I believe that it's a great idea to try to collaborate versus waiting, because we don't know if we will be able to be approved through the PCIA. So I think it's a great opportunity to collaborate so we can meet the deadlines that are outlined in the ERG tax credit dollars. So thank you so much for that. I just wanted to get clarity on the dollars in a sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Rivera? Okay, you had your hand. Okay, Councilman Mendez, and if there is no more, I'd like to, after Councilman Mendez, we have 2 different entities 2 more discussions that we need to have, and they've been waiting in the waiting room, okay? Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam President, and before my question, I just definitely want to acknowledge the outstanding job that Director Tony Perez and Senator Paul are been doing at the Parking Authority. It's a very powerful entity with so many access and real estate in the city of Paterson. So I just want to mention the outstanding job that Director you've been doing with this entity. So we could definitely see out there, and so I wish you the best of luck in terms of the interest rate. You know, interest rate are going up right now. I hope that you guys will like the rate of the number that you're looking for. But I just got one question, and the question I have is with the $60 million, you're looking to consolidate all the debt that the Parking Authority has under one umbrella?
That is correct.
Wow, all right. And the reason why I ask you this question is because with the amount of real estate that the Parking Authority owns the city, that's paying. So thank you for the outstanding job that you guys been doing with that entity. I have no more questions, Madam President. Thank you so very much. Director, to see you.
All right, so with that said, I think enough has been said for right now. We have thorough discussion. We came in late into the meeting, discussing, this item. And, I have to say, Senator Poe, as I stated to you before, and I said it in finance, it's a shame that we have not been able to move forward. You were the first entity, the first project that was approved, and we are still not done. But with that said, I'm just looking forward, to next week's meeting. From the conversation here from my colleagues, our finance chair, it seems to me that everyone is okay to move it on for regular for our next meeting. So with that said, I want to thank you. And I want to thank you, okay? And I look forward to, if anyone has any more questions within the next week before our regular meeting where we're going to take action, I'm sure that our council colleagues can reach out to Director Powell or direct anything to you. But with that, we're going to complete this discussion at this time. Good night. It was very nice seeing you, Tony. I don't like the phone thing. I like the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam President. To Madam VA, thank you.
And thank you, John and Senator Pope, okay?
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Be well, guys. Be well.
Bye-bye.
All the best, Tony and Nellie.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Director Spezia.
All right. So are they done? Okay, one second. Okay, so council members, we now have, we have had, and I want to be mindful of the people who have their lawyers with them. Don't know why they have their lawyers with them, but with that said, we're gonna allow each entity, but because they are with a lawyer, I want to take them first because, they've been waiting for an hour. So that means they're probably paying by the hour for their counsel. Today, and I'm going to put it on record again, there is no hearing. If we want to have a hearing from any of these entities in terms of their entertainment and dance hall licenses, we can do that in a separate meeting. Today is specific to sticking to the conversation. Do we support an entertainment license, dance hall license, and move it forward for our regular meeting to take action? Our code indicates that we have the right to vote, approve or not approve an entertainment and dance hall license, because that's our jurisdiction. That's what we can do, and no lawyer can't say, no, you have to approve something. So I just want to put that on record. So with that said,
Council President.
the first item we're going to take is item 36, which is Mr. Alonso Martinez and Frank Ciro, Super Corona. So I'm going to let...
Madam, I'm sorry, Madam President. I'm sorry, Councilman Melez. But Madam President, do you refer to me that I came late into the meeting?
No, not you.
Oh, okay. That was
She said Tony.
Oh, I totally came late to the meeting. I'm like,
She said Tony, yeah, that's what she said.
Okay, I said Tony. So I don't know what it is with this council, but Lord, Holy Spirit, activate, because you know what? I was not specific, so please, let us keep to... Don't know why people get offended when I make statements.
Madam President, I'm not getting offended. I'm not. I just asked you a question. All right?
I don't even know why you would ask me the question.
No,
because I never referred to you. I said Tony.
I misunderstood, but I just asked you a question. I'm having a great time too.
Okay, so as I stated, I'm going to allow Frank Ciro. I'm going to admit him in. Okay, I see Mr. Frank Ciro's in. I need to, Mr. Ciro, do you hear me?
I do. I can hear you.
Okay, Mr. Ciro, your client is with you, Mr. Alfonso Martinez?
He's on his phone. I believe he's in his kitchen.
I see him now. Okay. So, Mr. Ciro, I am going to just make clear here, anyone has the right to come to our meeting, if they feel that they need someone to assist them. This is not a hearing, okay? This is a workshop for us to decide if we want to move forward to support an entertainment and dance hall license. If your client wants a hearing, then we would have to do a separate meeting, executive session, and move that forward there, okay? Just want to clarify that so you understand this is not a hearing today. There'll probably be some questions asked to your client, and, you know, if you're the person representing him, we're fine with that, but just making a note of that, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, we will address, though, your client, okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, council members, we have before us item 36. Okay? Item 36. Item 36. Madam Clerk.
Council President.
Item 36.
It's item 36 is resolution addressing new entertainment show license for Corona LLC, trading as Super Corona, and they are located at 991 Madison Avenue in the 6th Ward.
Correct. And this was taken off from the October 5th, 2021 workshop.
Yes.
All right. And the reason it was taken off was that further discussion based on a report prepared by Paterson Police Department, specific to a lot of these reports come from patrol or from the narcotics division. And I know that there were certain things that were in the report that I know I like to ask, and I'll say we as a council, when we are issuing or renewing these licenses, we want to see, you know, what's going on with the business. You know, we get a lot of phone calls, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning from various different businesses, you know, after hours and so forth. And so we like to bring in the licensee to have a further discussion based on a report that's prepared by the police department through their Enforcees CAD system. So the information that is provided to us, we look at. Now, we don't have to, when we're looking at the information, I don't care if somebody was parked, that's not going to make me decide not to support a license because somebody has 5 calls of service because somebody parked in their driveway, right? I will probably have questions about it that you're allowing that to occur, but the reality is that will not deter me from not supporting a license. What would make me not support a license is when there are bigger issues, when there can be alleged consumption or sale to minors, when there is, you know, quality of life issues, when there is some alleged drug exchange in the establishment. Those are the things that I look at and I say, you know what? That's not a good business in our city, so that's something I wouldn't support. So I'm speaking on myself. So as a council, we have the right, and it's within our jurisdiction and our code, to support or deny a renewal of an entertainment and dance hall license. So with that said, I believe Councilman Jackson asked for the floor first. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President. So I'm just trying to gain some clarity. You started out by prefacing that this is not a hearing. Is there a scheduled hearing or a necessity for a hearing on the matter that because if we're gonna vote on approval for a license next week, and there's a pending hearing, the hearing should be it should precurse the vote. You shouldn't vote to approve a license that then.
Councilman, just so you know, okay, there are various council members that wanted this item to come back to the workshop, okay? This was taken off the workshop for reasons of which I stated. I read a report and there was quite a few things that I felt that were alarming, okay? But with that said, we took it off, we brought it back, and it's been kicked around for a bit. So the owner of the establishment, or the licensee, decided he needed a lawyer to further be able to have, if there's any questions, that the lawyer speak on his behalf. So I wanted
But that doesn't change our process.
Huh?
That should not,
No, it doesn't change the
change our
process. So council members ask, just like you asked that you wanted a discussion today, any council member can say, let us all have the discussion, right? The difference is that there are council members that weren't at that meeting, that weren't part of that meeting when it was taken off, right? And so now they wanna have another discussion, so they brought it back, and that is within their right to do that. That's why we're having the discussion here, all right? The person decided that he wanted to, have someone to represent him. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I wanted to make it clear, this is not a hearing, so he's paying for someone to represent him, and that's okay, all right? But the reality is, if we went to that, I'm just gonna stick to the facts, okay? I'm gonna stick to the reports that we received, through the ABC department, through its secretary, whatever reports come from the state, that's what I'm gonna look at to determine, is this a business that we should renew their entertainment and dance hall license? Okay? Okay, Councilman Rivera, then Councilman Velez.
Okay, let me make it clear. So, yes, this has been, and in the past, we have given courtesy to some council members that have requested that some of these entertainment licenses be held for a minute so they could have meetings with the residents and the owners. But I believe that some of these licenses, and I don't have nothing, again, you mentioned some council members, at their request, being the finance chair, these items often get discussed in finance, and we always make a decision as a committee. It's not the chair saying this is not gonna go on the agenda. The reason I requested this to get on is because if all the documents that have been submitted by the person in charge of reviewing the material, before it comes to the council, say that he meets, he met all the criteria, then it should come to the council for this to be discussed as a council. And the council makes the decision if we're gonna give the entertainment license or not. It shouldn't be, this is a council of 9, not of 1. I just wanna make that clear. That's all I have to say on the matter, and I'll stick by it no matter what. I am here to be fair to everyone. I could only judge this business by what is presented to me, not by rumors or comments that are made on the side. If you want me to entertain this, I'm gonna entertain it based on information that was provided to me. Now, if the police department, the chief, or whoever has an issue, and I'm not saying they do, if anybody in the city, in the public safety, police, anywhere, has an issue with any of this establishment, then it should be included in the report. I don't wanna hear whispers from anyone, not that I have heard whispers, let me just be clear. But I wanna make sure that we're judging everyone the same, regardless of who they are. I don't even know the owners of this establishment, and they're here tonight. If I know them, I want them to say publicly here that I know them. And I'll step down, because they don't know me.
So, Councilman, on that note, you're correct, just so you know, you were not in the finance meeting when it was discussed. It went to workshop, you were not part of the workshop meeting, so you never were privy. Now, I will also say this, Councilman, this item is not, the item we're discussing right now is not the one you requested. So just-
Correct. This is not the one I'm referring to. I'm referring to the one that I requested. This is not that.
Right, but just I'm just clarifying that it went through the process, it went through finance, it went through workshop, it was taken off workshop. Then it came back to finance, you were not in that finance meeting either. I just wanna clarify, because I don't want, your statements made, this is not a one person, this is 9, and that is correct. You know what, we have the right to question, okay, and just so you know, I'm reading the police reports, they're in part of our.
So, Council President, the one that I'm referring to is the one that I put up. It did come to a workshop one time, the owner was in the stands, and instead of us analyzing the information and asking any questions of the owner, it was pulled from the agenda, and he haven't been entertained again, and it's been months and months and months. People make investments, we gotta judge them based on what's in front of us, that's what I have to say. At least the one that I requested to be put on.
Okay.
I was there at that workshop when he was removed.
Very well, okay. Councilman, I believe it was Councilman Velez and Councilman Abdelaziz.
Council President, thank you for the opportunity. As you know, the 3 items that are in the agenda, 3 of them also I allowed it to be in the agenda. And Councilman Well, we could contest that. We're gonna entertain what is in front of us. That is the resolution addressing new entertainment, renewal. It says new, but I believe it's renewal. Entertainment show license for Corona LLC, Super Corona, and 991 Madison Avenue. Now, there's some supporting documents that, I'm not saying that is linked to the entertainment license. The only one that I could believe is a link to into the establishment is the item number one, that you see only one report attached. And if I going to make my decision, for example, or my judgment, this, it don't have to do nothing with the entertainment license. They don't have to do with the entertainment license. Because if I read the report, the discovery report that I have here, both parties or whoever party was involved could go their own way and do it civilly and do what they have to do. It will not still, it will not address whatever is here, it will address the entertainment license. I'm here to entertain the entertainment license. None of the reports that I see, according to 6 calls of service that is call for the establishment, the only one that is directly is the number one, but I believe he has an attorney or whoever party is involved could address that in the proper court regarding this situation. But before this license was pulled out of the agenda, it was curious that I have a letter from the Mrs. Mary Ann Williams, the ABC secretary, and say Corona license, the third paragraph has Corona LLC located above premise do not have any violations or outstanding police report pending any actions. But that's, and I understand if if the city have any action against them. In this case, I don't see no action against the licensee, against the premises. The only report that I see here, and then once again, his attorney could speak by himself, his attorney could speak for him and his client, but it's not have to do nothing with the entertainment license. And I believe that that could be addressed in the quarterly court, that they need to address it if the party really involved want to take it down.